It is often said that one man's trash is another man's treasure, and it seems that the general public are in complete agreement. Cashing in on the scandal that has gripped ITV by the throat, it appears that the nation has been on their hands and knees, busily rummaging around in their dusty attics and rifling through their knicker drawers, desperately searching for anything they can get their sticky mitts on that features the moniker of the disgraced former co-host of This Morning, Phillip Schofield, and his ex-bestie Holly Willoughby. Yes, the country is simply buzzing with the sound of snapping camera phones as they list their prized possessions for a pretty penny on the popular auction site, eBay. Blinkerhole has perused a vast array of unsavory offerings, which appear to range from a few innocent-looking books and a handful of dubious retro magazines to the downright stark raving bizarre. As we merrily scrolled down the riveting listings, we felt like an overexcited contestant on the 1970s game show, The Generation Game. We were absolutely delighted by the jam-packed conveyor belt of torrid goodies trundling past our greedy little eyes. Our brain, though, eventually became scorched, leaving us irreparably scarred, all in the space of 45 seconds. Snapping up a few tidbits from the bargain bin, we rose early to see if our eBay parcel had arrived, and after scurrying about for several hours, rooting through the greenhouse and several hedges before suspecting our neighbors of theft, we managed to locate it underneath a plant pot with all of the sides of the box bashed in. In wonderment, we prized open the box with our teeth because the scissor fairy had been in the night and stolen every single pair of scissors from the house. After first checking that there was nobody around to bear witness to our guilty pleasure, we try on a few of the items for size, settling on a mask that we plan to wear to the opening of an envelope this evening. In need of some company, we make a quick call to our bestie, Holly Willoughby, and invite her to tag along with us, and she was only too happy to oblige. We did mention that she could invite her other good mate, Alison Hammond, but she quickly declined. Proudly pinning our collectible badges onto our Sunday best, we head out of the door, grabbing a leather overnight bag and attach our new keyring to the key to our £1.2 million flat, deep in the heart of White City. Scarpering atop a vintage bike, we ride headfirst into the thick of it and hit the bars. However, it soon becomes lights, camera, Philip after a traffic camera flashed us for speeding after trying to escape a group of youths who are pestering us relentlessly for an autograph. We did briefly stop to sign a few photographs of our wonderful selves, even befriending a young gentleman while we were at it, and we swiftly added him on Snapchat for absolutely no reason at all. Several glasses of wine later, the night eventually draws to a close, but being the party animals that we are, we attend an after-party hosted by our good friends. We get up to all sorts of shenanigans and Holly ends up getting pie in her face. Party pooped, we end our evening crashing on a second-hand sofa, but after several hours, a rude bang wakes us in the dead of night. Screaming fills the air. It's Holly. She appears to have mistaken a life-size cardboard cutout for the real thing. We can't say we blame her, though. Waking up with that at the side of the bed would give anybody nightmares. To get us off, back to sleep, Holly whips out her trusty ghetto blaster and slots in a tape she bought with the pocket money she's been saving up for a rainy day. The soothing sounds of the children's company fairytale sends us straight back into our night terrors. The next morning, hungover and feeling rather sick to our stomach, we unglue ourselves from the sofa and wander into the kitchen. Flinging open the refrigerator door, a wish you were here postcard and a fridge magnet fly off the door. Sniffing the milk to see if it has gone off, it feels like we can't go on without a little pick-me-up, and we make ourselves a much-needed cup of coffee in our new mug. Oh no, it's just slipped from our hands and split us completely in two. We quickly grab another one from the broom cupboard in the corner and breathe a sigh of relief. There seems to be rather a cold nip in the air and we begin to shiver. Holly writes a to-do list in a play pad while we throw on a ghastly insipid pink sweater and a decidedly creepy top hat. We have an important match to attend this morning, and running late, we quickly fill up our overnight bag with useless tat and bid farewell to our friends. A free taxi magically appears as we step out of the door, and we instruct the driver to take us to a field in the middle of Nowheresville. During the arduous journey, there is a jolt of turbulence coming from the bumpy road ahead, but the problem is quickly solved by the sign we stick up in the back window. Holly appears to be enjoying some coloring in and a little light reading, and with hearts in her eyes, she busies herself by wrapping and sellotaping a perfectly good school exercise book with a selection of pin-ups. Though, after admiring her efforts for 2 seconds, she changes her mind at the last minute and covers it up with stickers. The driver begins to slow down and pulls the taxi up right next to muddy waters, which is adjacent to a large open playing field. Failing miserably to avoid the driver's roving eyes in the rearview mirror, we change our clothes, pulling on our Phillip Schofield number 10 football shirts. Holly appears to have developed great skills at kicking a ball when it's down, and she scores the winning goal and is awarded a very special prize. But it all goes downhill from there. The taxi has driven off without us and the heavens have opened, and we are now forced to use a Bible as a sat-nav to get to our next destination. Walking along a long and winding road clutching tickets to a Technicolor show, we eventually reach and ascend some steps to a brightly lit theater. Holly, though, unfortunately, takes a tumble and has to steady herself by latching onto the coattails of a man standing outside in the cold. She eventually regains her composure and takes a deep breath as she glances up at the wild moon. Skipping past the long and winding queue, we situate ourselves right at the front without a thought for anybody else. But what is this? A fight is breaking out, apparently. All these people have been patiently waiting for hours to see the show and are furious with us for pushing in. "Oh Christ, not him again," somebody yells, as they skate by carrying a tray laden with popcorn. It's Jason Gardner. He drags Holly backward by the hair and screams at her that she's changed and that he doesn't know her anymore since she became brand Holly. Interrupted by a telephone call from the CEO of 10 Yetis Digital, Andy Barr, telling us to talk, or sorry, that Talk TV could be the career rebuilding platform that we need right now. We inform him that we have no plans to do so, replying, "Absolutely not, as far as we know." Feeling shaken, troubled, and let down, we are frog-marched from the building and scuttle along the pavement with our tails between our legs. Passing a newsstand on the way back to White City, we discover to our delight that we are no longer on the front pages of the Sunday newspapers. Purchasing one, we are not surprised to see the non-story on the front page reporting about the occupants of a two-story block in Ashford, Surrey, who found themselves forced to leave their homes after the multimillionaire owner of the freehold to the property removed the roof. The headline, though, jumps out at us, stating, "Our apartment roof was ripped off to build a whole new floor above us, and there was nothing we could do." Nothing having been set in bold and in capital letters, we wonder if they are trying to say something. Picking up several other newspapers on the stand, we realize that there's a blanket silence on anything to do with us. Philip turns to Holly and asks her to make of that what she will. Dragging our feet along the street, Holly is positively beaming, now that we are okay, and she takes a detour into an amusement arcade and manages to win a cuddly toy from the conveyor belt, proceeding to hold it aloft, making sure that everyone within spitting distance knows how sweet and likable she is. I truly am, why don't you believe me? She pleads before a passerby screams at the top of her lungs, "It's Kim Woodburn." There's no escaping the Queen of Clean as she grabs the teddy bear and rips off its head, calling it a phantom prize. She quickly whips out a bucket of filth from a hard day's work, scrubbing her mouth out with soap and water, and completely douses the pair of them. Please like and subscribe for more journeys through the Blinkerhole. For entertainment purposes only.